Hi. Let me call my dog because he was waiting here for. Come on, Deba. Hello. Did I hurt your feelings? He was waiting for like 5 minutes and I couldn't pick him up. And then just as when he gave up, it was time for me to go live. Say hi. Okay. How are you people? Let me say hi to everybody. So, okay. I'm going to share something, but I'll say hi first to everybody. Hi, everyone. Britain, C, Mag, CJ. Did everyone want? Yes, I was able to watch the replay. Michelle, Iris, Linax, Reg Pair, Consuelo, Fire Butterfly. It's on Twitch. Carla Girl, Tyrion, Arlene, My Lang, My Langa, oh, My Langa, OT7, Anush, Cindy, Halina, Seda, Elise, Gigi, Alina, Andy Big, Night Sky, Lorena, A Placer, A Placer. Is that how to pronounce it? Or A Placier? Reg, Eliz, Robin. You're in Tokyo. Ooh, how is it in Tokyo? Maritz, Datsun, Alicia, Cassandra, PZ, Abby Chimi. Is YouTube up yet? Yes, it should be up. Is it not? I think it's up. It should be up because people are chatting from YouTube. Fire Butterfly, Abby Chimmy. Okay. So it has been like a rough weekend for me. A family member has to be admitted in the hospital. Everything, we don't know yet what's going to happen. It's not like, it's not that bad. It is bad, but not that bad. But of course, things like that, it kind of shakes you. So over the weekend, it was specifically yesterday. It was yesterday. And yesterday was when I was supposed to be preparing for everything for today. And so that was a little rough. But, I've always mastered. One thing, though, is that I think I just am so blessed to have that ability to stay calm when everyone is panicking. So maybe it's also the need to be calm. So that helps, and also just to have, because most of my family members are in the US and they don't have the best healthcare in the Philippines. So essentially it's kind of like, if you don't have money and you need to go to the hospital, you're practically dead. That's how bad it is. So I'm just thankful that we are blessed to have had all of these things. So I sort of had to reconfigure my head to concentrate on that so that I don't, and then also all the things that you need to coordinate and all of those things, right? So yeah, so I'm just really really blessed and really thankful that we have the capacity to get care for family. But also, thinking about the people that don't have the same means as we do. We're not in any way, shape, or form rich, not at all, not even close. But at the very least, we have some means for needs like that because I prepared for that because I know how bad the healthcare is in the Philippines. You know how it is in here in the US. You go to hospital, they have to give you care. You can sue them if they don't give you care. That's not how it is in the Philippines. They can say no to you and the hospital will not be held responsible for whatever happens to you. And it was kind of odd because the nearest hospital they took our family member too, they have the money to get care, and they were still not assisted, and so they had to go to another hospital just to get assistance. So that's how bad it is. And so I was thinking, like, my god. So the reason they went to that hospital, the first hospital that they went there because it was the nearest one, not necessarily because it was like the best. They just needed to get to a hospital. So so they went there, and they weren't getting assistance that they need. And this is the emergency room, by the way. And so they had to go to another hospital, which is a private one and much more expensive. But I mean, at that, in a need like that, you don't really like care about things like that. So uh so yeah, so they went there, and then luckily they know somebody there, another family member, which was like, why didn't you take them there in the first place? And I wanted to ask that, but I know how frantic it could be right at that moment. So they were like, oh, there's a family member there, so they were able to get assistance. And so now they're getting the help that they need. So it's just that it's thinking about it, because you do have to look at the brighter side of things. Like, so as I've said, I will not take it for granted. I'm very, very blessed that we have the means to actually get the care that we need. But think about the people in the Philippines who don't, and there are a lot of that. You can't see me on YouTube. You can't see me on YouTube, but can you hear me? I'm streaming though. I'm streaming on YouTube. View on YouTube. I am streaming. Oh, sorry. Let me just fix this. So it's the people on X, I guess. Okay, let me just repost this on X. Um, mm, okay, okay, all right. So I posted. Okay, okay. I think that is working. I believe that's working. Okay. So I can see it. Okay. So I think because someone informed me on Patreon that there are two links, which I don't know why, why there are two links, but, so I posted the link on X, the one that's working. So if you can just check and let me know, so if you can just let me know if that works now. Let me delete the old one. Maybe that's what's that's, um Hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. So, well, where was I? So, yeah. So I was just just as I was saying, just wanted to finish the thought. Just can't imagine those that don't have the means to two links on YouTube as well. Yes, in YouTube too. Yes, I did cut my hair. Okay, so just wanted to sort of finish my thought, just thinking about the people that don't have the means um, to get better care, right, or get any kind of care that they need. So just thankful for that, and thankful for my ability to focus on the positive things, because there are a lot of people who tend to focus on the negative thing. And I was thinking, I actually told a family member, I said, at least you're just busy thinking about like just the care instead of the care and the money to get it right. So that I will never take it for granted. I will never take it for granted. So I'm very, very thankful. I did think about was like, should I cancel this? But there's, one odd thing about me is that I do need to keep myself occupied to not drive myself crazy. If I don't work, if I just concentrate on the negative thing, then it's just gonna drive me nuts. So I'm actually very, very thankful for you people. You guys are here because you are keeping me sane. So thank you for being here. Okay. Um, all right. So let's okay. So the troll should be gone now. So just wanted to thank you Dawn. I think thank you. I really thank you for all the for all the for your offer to help. For now, that thing is taken care of. If you guys are going to donate, thank you very much. You don't have to, but I really thank you if you do that. Okay. So the my family was not affected by the storm. So there's a huge storm in the Philippines. My family was not affected, but I know that some people were informing me about the hero. We have a mountain range in the Philippines that blocks most of the typhoons. Well, it's not they don't totally block it, but they take the worst of it. And so a portion of our country is really totally covered because of that mountain range. So I'm going to share that with you eventually, but yeah. Okay. Hi, coming from the other live. Oh, okay. I don't know why they created two. I'm going to check on that. But so we have a lot to talk about. So but I don't think I can finish all topics. I think I can finish four, maybe. I'll try to finish four, but if not, I'll probably finish three. Primarily because the first two topics are very extensive. Well, the first topic is very extensive. So I'll do it the usual way. I'll go negative first, and then we're gonna go and do the positive ones, the positive topics. So I know that I wasn't actually able to discuss with you the thing that happened, the hearing of Source Music and Min, because that happened Thursday night, I believe. I was able to discuss it on the Friday members only live. I have some slides, but that's not the priority. We're going to be talking about Jungkook, and we're going to be talking about the Hybe business report. They reported their business plans and their performance for this year, and then we're going to do some news and updates. And we're also going to do some updates on what's happening with the different cases. Okay. Fabulous. Actually, I did something really stupid. I took a shower and then I just slept. I washed my hair and I woke up and was like, oh, okay, this is how you are. Okay, then. I made my peace with my hair. Okay. MHJ getting her ass handed to her. Okay, so why don't we talk about first the most infuriating thing? Because the men thing can be funny, actually, right? So let's talk about Jungkook first. Are you okay with that? Beautiful picture. Isn't that a beautiful picture? That's the our logo on his abs, by the way. Also, someone was asking me, okay, I'll address that in another time. Okay, let's talk about Jungkook first. So I quite honestly, because I have filtered my timeline so well, it could very well be the bedroom of Tinkerbell on how happy it looks like. It's just really positive things that I see on my timeline, even on Facebook. So I just basically don't check anything that is negative. I'm very fast in blocking people if they say or do something that's harmful. And if I see it, I'm not perfect, of course. There are a lot, especially on X, because there are a lot of people who would comment on some of the things that I post. So I don't always have the time to go through them. But if I see something on my timeline that is negative or defames any of the members, I just block them. I report and then I block. Okay. So I don't really see a lot of the negativities. And so when this thing happened with JK, I wasn't aware, I think until last night, because some of JK bias fan bases sent me screenshots of what was happening. So um I'm sure that some of you also saw it, but for those of you who don't, I am really not going to show you what they have been sending me, primarily because it's really none of our business. And in fact, if you don't want to sit through this entire presentation about this entire portion for Jungkook, that is really the whole point of what I'm going to say. That it doesn't really matter what he's doing in his personal time. That is none of our business. None of our business. And that is the whole point. So we don't have to know whether it's true or not, whether it's fake or AI manipulated. It does not matter because it's his personal time. It's his. We don't have any business knowing whether or not it is true. Okay, so that is the whole point. What I am going to talk about would be just how we can, just to explain the psychological distortions happening as a result of our actions on social media and what we can really do and how our actions or inaction actually allow people to earn. Okay. Um what are you talking about, Fairy Lane? I've been out of the loop. What happened to JK? Just some toxic fans spreading some stuff about his personal life, which I don't know if it's true or not. It again, it doesn't matter. It's his personal time. So let's just talk about social media in general and how we actually contribute to it. Even I contribute to it. So I'll explain that. At least it's going to hopefully contribute to our understanding on how the algorithm works, how contribute further, because we often talk about how the algorithm works, how it actually damages us and other people. Okay. So the one thing that Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Bezos, and many others have actually mastered is the confirmation bias. One of the most glaring things that social media highlighted is that people want to hear the things that make them happy or things that agree with their current belief. In general, people don't like discomfort. And so we only want to hear things that would support our line of thinking. And the algorithm, social media algorithm, even search engine algorithm, have actually master that and they are taking advantage of that. They know that if you want to believe that Jane Smith is in love with John Smith, then the only content you will support will be content that affirms that belief. It does not give you the opposite side. Okay. Um because when people are given the opposite side, they drop out of the social media of the platform, which is of course not something that they want you to stay. And so the algorithm continues to feeds you what you want and what you want to hear. Okay. I'm glad I'm not part of the negative algorithm when it comes to BTS. Yes. So even I didn't know it was happening. Apparently, it has been happening for several days. But again, because I have cleaned up my timeline, I don't see them. The only reason I did was that not a lot, but a lot of the fan bases of Jungkook sent me screenshots because they know that if they send me links, I won't click it. Okay. So The truth is that we're all guilty of the confirmation bias. Even I'm not guilty of it. Maybe I shouldn't. I cannot assume that you are guilty of it. I am guilty of this as well. I also do confirmation bias. And as proof, I only talk about things that I know you will not be uncomfortable with. That's why I don't talk about politics. That's why I don't talk about criticisms about BTS or about celebrities that you hate or stuff like that, because I know that if you do, please don't mention names of other celebrities, of specifically women that they're trying to link to anybody. Okay, uh, so I do this as well. I also don't talk about things here that I know you will be uncomfortable with. So I am part of the algorithm. It just so happened that the thing that I'm pushing is more positive than it is negative. It's just that other content creators um push the negative because it earns them more and it allows them to grow faster. Okay. So remember that if you as a person or as a creator or as someone in social media only caters to the things that you want to hear, whether that's negative or positive, that is confirmation bias. Okay. Can you get another psychologist to do a refresher lecture on parasocial relationship? Yes, I'm working on it. I'm actually talking to someone already, so yes, I'm working on it. Okay, so yeah, we're all kind of a part of that. It just so happens that for the most of us, it's really positive things that we like reinforcing. We like keeping things within their art, within music, but for other people, it goes beyond that. So, but the truth is that necessary discussions are rarely easy. That's the truth. If you want to get to the bottom of things, you're going to have to surrender to the fact that you will be offended, that we will be offended, that we will feel uncomfortable, that we will dislike it, that we will get enraged, we will feel emotions that we don't want to feel. Okay. So, next. Toxic fans are actually trapped in the confirmation bias cycle. And again, just want to emphasize that for us, we're also trapped in this cycle. It's just that we're trapped in the negative, in the positive cycle. We just like hearing about their music. We don't like hearing about other things. We like hearing about good news and about dogs and cats and stuff like that. So it's just that these people, the toxic fans, are trapped in a negative confirmation bias cycle. Okay. Now, what happened is that some alleged private photos and videos of Jungkook have been circulating online. I'm not interested in showing anybody any of that because, again, it's none of our business. So, most of this are pushed by toxic fans. So, corners of the fandoms that are really into uh, rage. They like getting angry. They like deluding themselves that they have a bigger role in the lives of the celebrities, beyond music and beyond art. Some are doing it out of jealousy, others are out of delusion of shipping. So there are, I'm not because I don't see them directly. I'm getting much of the information from other fans of Jungkook. And the only fans of Jungkook that I communicate with are those that are not toxic to other BTS members or not toxic in general. Okay, so according to them, the source of all this information came from Chinese fans, and they are primarily angry because there are talks that he has a girlfriend, that Jungkook is not a girlfriend, which is again none of our business. And so, as revenge, they decided they're going to release these videos and photos, which again is really none of our business. Now, it's being supported by the other toxic fans that are shipping Jungkook with other members. Okay. So, and this was sort of inflated by Are You Sure? So season two, because Are You Sure season two is coming out. And so there is this other toxic shippers that don't like that. And so to pressure Jungkook, they decided we're going to support this other toxic fans. So we're going to amplify it, like it, share it, affirm it, all of those things. Okay, good grief. Toxic fans are annoying. That is the worst thing about this because they're coming together, right? So there's that one fandom, solo toxic fans who feel that, oh, you're going out with somebody, then I'm going to release this video or create this video, manipulate this video, whatever that may be. And then the other toxic fandom, the shippers, are like, oh, we're pissed because you're coming out with Are You Sure Too, we're going to support this other fandom. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. So there are basically two factions coming together to amplify this. Okay, so you want to go down? Okay. So, as we know, this is just parasocial relationship, right? That's the core concept of it. Fans feel intimacy because idols share personal stories, live streams, and travel blogs, all of those things. But the connection is actually isn't mutual. When Remember when RM went live, he went on a live stream and he was opening up to everybody and he said like, I consider you guys my friend and my friends. And the first thing that I said is that don't delude yourself that he actually meant like the way he's friends with other members or the way that he's friends with other musicians that he go out with to go to museums and coffee, and like that's not the kind of friendship that he's talking about. So and also Jungkook often say this that I consider Army my friends, and so they delude themselves into thinking that that's what he meant. The same level of friendship that he has with other members and other people, where he has actual physical interaction with. Okay, um, private life. It's in the name of the term. Just saying exactly. Okay, so now the thing is that believe it or not, parasocial relationship actually isn't inherently bad. So i- n- there are parasocial relationships where um it's actually a part of how we connect to the modern world. It's that, for example, let me pull this up for you so that I don't. Okay, so for example, um we associate things. We constantly, how do I term this? We constantly connect ourselves with things that leads to familiarity, right? So for example, I like baseball. I like watching sports. That's one. So I have a parasocial relationship with sports. But my relationship with it, because I'm a huge fan of it, leads to me having a hobby. So when there are during the championship of LA Dodgers, the World Series, there's something for me to turn my attention to because my favorite team is there. But I know how to set my boundary. That in itself, though, is a parasocial relationship because I have a relationship with the team. They don't know me. So, but it's healthy because to me, it's just a hobby. So I feel happy. Or when they lose, I feel upset, but in a good way because it's not personal to me. So it's not inherently bad. It's something that we all do. We all have something in our lives where we have a parasocial relationship with. It's just that for this toxic people, they don't know where to draw the line. Okay. So according to now, how is it worse and bad? It's actually why is it worse when it is armies that are doing it or toxic fans? I don't think we can call them armies, but toxic fans. Okay, so according to Grok and other sources, up to 40 million unique users, army that identify as army, are active on different social media on a daily basis. So imagine that every day there are 40 up to 40 million armies that are consuming BTS content. Okay. So that size in itself makes amplifies everything. So even if a tenth of that 40 million, so that would be 4 million, or even if it's a fifth, that's going to be 2 million, I guess. That allows the toxic post on the timeline to be heard by the algorithm, right? So let's just say 1 million people interacts, not even interact, but sees that content. The algorithm is going to think, oh, wow, 1 million people allow this content to be on their timeline. They must like it. So they're going to push it. Okay. So now, to give you an idea how big of a business this is, real time indicators as of November 10, 2025, BTS related posts, ordinary posts, not by big accounts, but just ordinary posts, they routinely hit 100,000 likes and engagement, 100 to 600,000 likes. And so likes, reposts, and replies in under 24 hours, even on comeback days. And they measure this in the last year where BTS was very, very much inactive. Okay. So one post of an ordinary person, not even an actual creator, it could hit up to 600,000 engagement, likes, reposts, and replies. Okay. So again, allow that in your timeline, you're contributing to it. Okay. So when that as a paying army member, Danji said, Fairly, as a paying army member, I think we should be able to vet all these people that say they are army. Meaning, if you are paying BTS, you can kind of say your opinion. If not, you can't. I get what you're saying. Okay, remind me after this. We'll talk about that. So now, when always remember that number. An ordinary post, not even by like a professional creator, an ordinary post on a comeback day, it's not even something salacious, just an ordinary, a picture or something. It could hit up to 600,000 likes, replies, retweets on X. Okay, that's how big the fandom is. If 10% of the actual daily users, army users of social media, interacts with it, you have 4 million. Okay, so now, when Jungkook's real action, traveling, dating, just whatever, living his life like a normal person, clashes with fans' internal fantasy, that's the size of the fandom that can actually go against him. Possibly at least 100,000 people will start amplifying something that emphasizes what Jungkook did that goes against their narrative. Okay. Um my little corner is relatively small. I've never seen a post with that many likes because you filtered your timeline. Because you filter your timeline. I filter my timeline too. But for those who don't, this is what they see. Okay. So I'm going to show you an example later. Okay. So, it's easier, and it's always easier to just attack instead of rewriting their fantasy, because they've been harboring and nurturing this fantasy for a really long time. So it's so hard to rewire someone's brain, right? It hurts. Even if it's just your personal hobby, suddenly dropping something from your daily routine, that can throw you off the mark. Okay, so instead of rewiring how they think, they would rather that they just attack you for doing something very, very ordinary. And many of these people actually get rewarded for it, especially if they have the blue check mark, if they're actually monetized. So for example, on TikTok, 1 million views can earn a person up to $1,000. Okay, so if you're scrolling through TikTok, you see somebody, if you see a creator and it has 1 million views, that could earn that person up to $400 to a grand. Okay. So if they post every day, and every day they are actually getting a million views, then 400 times 30. That's the amount of money we're talking about on TikTok. Okay. So that's just TikTok. If you go to YouTube, 1 million views can be anywhere between 500 to 2 grand. That this is YouTube, and X. Okay. So anywhere between 1 million, sorry, between 500 to 2 grand. Okay. So imagine the amount of money that they're getting if they just upload something that will get people to watch it. So a lot of these people that are amplifying many of their content aren't even interested in the truth. They're not even interested in BTS per se. They're just interested because they know it's going to earn them money. Okay, do you want to get down, baby? Okay. Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Mm. Bye bye. Bye bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye. I will be back later. Okay. Okay, so many of those that are uploading content, they're not necessarily even just fans. They're just there because they're earning a lot of money. So what imagine that if they just get 1 million, if they are from a third world country and they just upload one time, one a month. They upload one video a month that hits 1 million, they're going to get paid $500 on YouTube. And that will be enough to sustain them for a month. So if they just do it twice a month, then they get a grant. That's a lot of money in a third world country. You can actually feed an entire family every day for that money for a month. And so many of them are just doing it because they're monetizing it. Unfortunately, it's those that are allowing it in their feed that's giving them that money. Because you don't have to do anything. You just need to allow it in your feed. Okay. Um so now how effective is rage baiting in general? Sorry, that's a repeat. Um now there are do remember though that many of these fans actually aren't necessarily mentally ill. Many of them just get trapped because they're not getting the right information because they don't have access to the right information. So because the only thing that they're seeing, so for example, new armies, baby armies, they go online or not. Probably they're not baby armies. It's just that this is the first time or they're new in actually accessing the content in social media. When they don't see anything, if you're the algorithm, this person is new looking for BTS content. This the algorithm is going to push the most consumed content. And that would be the toxic content, right? So the tendency is for this fans to then be trapped in that because that's all they're consuming, that's all they are seeing. So that's why it's very important for people like us to continue sharing and liking content that are healthy because that's the only way that content will get to people that are not necessarily seeking toxic content. They just want some sort of content. Okay, there's also social reinforcement and group polarization. So this community structure rewards outrage because like, shares, and attention keep them on the algorithm. So what the algorithm does, if there's a new person coming in the BTS fandom searching for BTS, it's gonna think, okay, I know that rage will actually keep you in the platform or salacious content will actually keep you in the platform. So that's what I will send you. Okay. So how do we contribute as an army? Just allowing it in our feed, worse, clicking on this content just to check it out, maybe because we say, I just want to know the truth. I'm going to judge for myself whether it's correct or not, whether it's AI or not. We contribute to that already because we're allowing it in our feed. The only way we're going to do something about it is if we block these people. But also, we do need to remember blocking is not enough. We also need to be active in sharing positive content. So, on an individual level, whether or not it's true, the only thing in our mind should be that it does not matter. It's none of our business. It's none of my business. So, it doesn't matter whether it is true or not. It's none of my business. It's none of my business whether it's AI or not. It's still none of my business. Their personal life is theirs. So that is the only thing, that is the only acceptable answer. We don't have to disprove it. We don't have to approve it. We don't have to, nothing. We just need to not interact with it. We need to make them irrelevant. Okay. On an individual level, don't click or share the leak material, even to debunk it. Just report it. Report and then block. Mute and block accounts spreading private videos and photos. And I keep on saying, whenever a scandal is happening, that's actually the best time for us to filter our community in social media. So the best thing to do is to block these people, report and block these people. When you report, it may be that they will not lose, they will stick around, they won't get blocked or whatever. So that's probably it. That will probably happen, but it will still, the social media account, the platform will actually score their account, right? So if this account keeps on getting the complaints over time, then eventually they will be in the crosshair. So next thing that people will, that next time that they get reported extensively, then they will eventually be taken down. Okay. I have learned that the more you block or report, the less I see. It started changing the last week when I started putting in the effort. Correct. Congratulations. Okay. And then on a fandom level, just shift your reward. Reward those that amplify positive content, and also share them. Continue sharing them, even though you're just sharing it in your social media and you have 10 followers. It doesn't matter. Just continue sharing content that you know would be helpful. So you guys actually watch more than I do, because I try to not watch anybody. So you guys watch more than I do. So continue sharing them in your social media. Okay. And then just also mention it, even if you think there are only one, two, three people that are seeing it, for as long as you continue to educate them on how it's going to affect your algorithm, how you think, what you consume, continue doing that. And then on a platform level, tag and report violating content directly on X or TikTok. So again, eventually they might not take it down, but eventually at some point, it's going to affect the algorithm. Okay. Um, Fandom is also, so just remember that fandom is built on connection, but connection without boundaries, of course, turns into possession. So it's okay to feel connected to them, just as long as you know that at the end of the day, we're consumers and they're selling their music to us. Now, important caveat though, if anybody, I learned recently that there are a lot of people who actually watch my live stream but are not talking, that are haters or whatever. So if you're watching, do remember this, that even if you, for example, get, if you upload rage bait content and you get your initial interaction, if you don't maintain it, if you don't follow up, you will not maintain your followers. So it's not a long-term thing. It's just an initial boost, but you do need an actual social media strategy if you want to continue getting your interaction. Of course, the negative thing is that many of them will actually just continue sharing rage bait content because that's what's going to make them uh, earn more. So just remember that just because you upload one rage bait content, it's not going to mean that you will maintain your following and your income. You need to continue doing it. So just be vigilant. Remember that 1 million clicks, actually not 1 million clicks, 1 million views can actually earn someone up to 2 grand in content. If you don't, if you just allow it in your social media, in your feed, that's going to translate to income for them. Fairlane, do you have an article on your website about this? It'll be published tomorrow. So this afternoon on the website asianentertainmentandculture.com, the one that's going up is about Cordis. Or maybe I should shift it, huh? And then supposedly maybe I should shift it. So I'll schedule the one this late afternoon or early evening about this, and then core this one tomorrow. So, but yes, the answer is yes, and it's going to be published. Okay. You have questions. You can mark a YouTube channel as do not recommend this channel. Yes, you can mark it do not recommend. I don't think you can block, uh, but you can dislike, and you can also mark do not recommend, so that they won't recommend it to you anymore. Okay. No, that's not the case. I'm addressing your comment, not looking for a deep discussion. Okay, here is the website. Here is the website. What are you? Okay. Asian, maybe. All right, here. Maybe I can put it on screen as well. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's not it. This platform changed some stuff, and so uh wait, that's not it. Okay, maybe I'm lost because I have no clue what happened to JK, and I hope stays that way. Yes, just keep it that way. That is the best thing that you can do. Just keep it that way. Okay, here. So the website, I think, so for the website, just news on the website, some news about the website. I think we're already starting to prepare some stuff for the formal release of the website, formal launch. It's still in a soft launch because we're still like uploading content on it. Right now, it's very heavy on BTS. So I'm trying to upload as much content about other things as possible, like movies, other groups, other music, TV shows. So, but we are already preparing our formal launch so that it's like known to everybody else. But right now it's up. It's just on a soft launch. So, but any kind of I know that some of you already sent me suggestions and comments on the website, and I truly value that. I haven't responded to you one by one, but I am addressing many of the suggestions because many of your suggestions are actually good. So, okay. Um, emotional pic, please. You want to do emotional picture. There you go. Emotional support pictures. Okay, I actually have a lot of it. So, but if I do that now, let's go to big hit earnings first. Where's that? Where's my big hit earning? So this is actually available on the Big Hit website. So if you just go there, I'm actually on the Big Hit website. If you go there, you will be able to download their monthly report. But I caught the earnings call. So quarterly, they do have an earnings call where the CEO and the chief finance officer present the entire earnings report to their stakeholders. And then there is a Korean audio, and then a woman translates that to English. And then there's question and answer, and they talk about the highlights of their achievements. What I did is I cut it so that you will only hear the English reporting, so that you're not listening to 1 hour and 20 minutes of them talking, half of which you don't understand anyway. So I will upload as usual. I always do this. I'm going to upload in Patreon the earnings report, only the English portion of it. Okay, so let's just go through some of the highlights of their earnings call. Um, so this is the bottom line, the most important slide, I guess. They did have a record breaking gross revenue for this year. So, but the net profit is a loss. Okay, so they earned a lot of money came in, but they also lost a lot of money, bottom line. Okay, so we're going to discuss why that happened. All right, it's actually, you can see it there. Okay, let me go to my slides. Um, Every negative post, three positive, and associate the member's name with only positive. I love that practice. Okay. Thank you, Chimmy. That means that Abby Chimmy. That means that you're actually paying attention to what I'm saying. All right. So let's go through the earnings report. First, on the album highlights, Le Seraphim, ILLIT 17, and Boy Next Door sold a lot. So they were actually very proud of ILLIT. They were very proud of ILLIT because they consistently hit 500,000 album sales in the last several in the all the albums that they have released. They've sold at least 500,000. That is very far from the 5 million of 17, but you know that in Korea, boy groups really have a they sell more because the primary target market are women. So the males actually sell more. But they're still very proud of that. They also are very proud of Le Seraphim, not just on the album sales, but also in the performance of the track in the charts. So they hit number 50 in Billboard Hot 100. Their collaboration with J Hope, not JK. Their collaboration with J Hope. Okay, um, is it due to the Cordis debuting? Not only that, but Cordis was actually a big part of their discussion. So so that's one. So they said that B Lift actually did well because of ILIT because they're selling well. Now, a big portion of the report is actually about Cordis and how much they're pushing and how much they are and how fast they're actually growing. Um, Fairly, I encourage you again when you open your own company, you will definitely be successful. You have manager capacity. Thank you. Okay. Didn't we get Yeonjun sell a half a million too? Yes, but his will be in the next quarter. So this report ended it for this is just for the third quarter. So up until the end of September, October, November, December will be for the next quarter. So that's going to be reported most likely February of 2026. Can you believe we're already talking about 2026? Okay. So they were very, very proud of Cortez, and I can see why. You have no idea the talk that they are creating, the ripple effect that they are creating here in the music industry in the US, like the internal discussion, like within the industry itself. Everyone is talking about them. I'm going to share that a little bit with you because some of my friends were so excited about them. Okay. And the Tannies are coming. So debut album Color Outside the Line, they sold half a million as well. And this is a huge thing for them because this is their very, very first album. They ranked number 15 in Billboard 200 and they stayed there for several weeks. So that wasn't like a one and done kind of thing. They actually so they sustained their success. They also surpassed 100 million cumulative Spotify streams within a month. Okay, and they're earning a lot. I think I showed either you or the members only live stream, but I actually shared how much they are growing and how much they're earning on their YouTube channel, and it's a lot. So the YouTube channel itself is sort of paying for something significant in their expense with Cordis. And so did the spending, was it because of Cordis promotions? No. It was actually primarily because of their opening. Okay, number one is the restructuring of Hybe. If you would remember, they restructured Hybe America. They hired three new people to head their distribution, IP, and what was the other one? Marketing, I think. So distribution, marketing, and IP, I believe. So three people. Now, that, of course, when you hire these people and you give them a new objective, they're going to form a team. The huge thing, the biggest, yeah, marketing. So the big thing is that the the person they appointed for, I want to say distribution or either marketing or distribution, the person that they appointed actually is based in Latin America. Okay. So he's just going back and forth to the US to be able to do his business. So that's one of the biggest expense they have because they had to restructure, and that comes with social human cost like contracts. Okay, so they gave away stocks usually. And then the second is that because they're expanding. So they opened India, they opened Latin America, They launched Latin America groups, the Santos Bravos. That's a lot of expense because they had to spend for TV, for the TV show, for the reality show. That's one. Also, India, they set up the office and now they're going to launch a new group. And then they restructured Japan. When they renamed Japan, they also restructured Japan. And it seems that they're going to open one more before the end of the year. Or at least they are starting to structure a new office in another country, which they hope to open, probably Europe, which they hope to open either at the last quarter of this year or first quarter of next year. Okay, they did talk about China. So they said that this partnership was really more to this is how I read what the CEO was saying because he was asked about this specifically by one of the stakeholders. So they said that they kind of asked like what's the plan for China? We heard that you have a partnership with QQ, the biggest streaming platform in China. And so he sort of the CEO sort of hinted that the initial plan was to just expose the Chinese market to more high content. And because it was deterred for a long time because of this not so good relationship between China and South Korea, a lot of Chinese fans weren't able to freely consume content by BTS and other Hybe artists. And so, because of this partnership with QQ, then China fans will be able to consume content. So, streaming their songs, watching videos. Now, what I read from what he said is that we're testing how far we can go with this, but we want to be careful because we all know that the conflict isn't resolved yet. They're in the preliminary talks as a result of the APEC meeting. So what I'm hearing from him is that let us see if there's actually something that we can do because no matter how big the market is, if there are policies that will get in their way, then they won't be able to penetrate the market. So they're taking it slow. That's how I'm reading it. Okay, so they're big on Cordis. So this is the stream that they are going, the growth of their streams, but it is very very finicky. But if you actually I don't know if you've watched any of their performances in iHeart, if you've watched any of their interviews. These guys are on another level. They're not perfect by any means, and they still do need to hone their craft in performance because it's more performing on stage and doing concerts and all of those things. It's not just about great live singing skills and dancing. You need to learn how to interact with the crowd, boost the crowd, hype the crowd up. You have to learn how to respond and whatever. But they've got the basics down. So they do have great vocals, by the way. I encourage all of you to watch their iHeart performance because that I think is when they kind of felt really very comfortable. So they were able to interact, they were able to ad lib really well, and it showed you the future that they have in live concerts. But within the industry itself, everyone is raving about them. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but a lot of people are raving about them. So I do have a few friends here and there in different agencies, and all of them were just like texting me about them, asking information. And they were, this is the exact, well, no, I'm going to paraphrase. So, or maybe I can see from my phone. But what he said was that he has never seen the management of that label be interested in a foreign act since he started working for the music industry, and he's been in the music industry for 25 years, and he said this is the first time I've seen them disinterested outside of BTS. So that's a good sign, and it's all because of Cordy's. So let's see. They are chaotic and hilarious, but overall they are musically creative and geniuses. They think the approach is really interesting. The management companies, the executives of these companies are, they think that the approach is very interesting in that they are allowing the boys to create first and then they hone instead of the other way around. So I encourage you to watch all of their iHeart performances. You will not regret it. Okay, and then they talked about Cat's Eye. Actually, they said that I think I put this in the slide. So they are also going to launch outside of Cat's Eye in the US. They are also going to launch another group, a four-member group, and that will this girls will most likely debut by next year, either second half or third quarter, sorry, second quarter or third quarter of next year. So they went through the achievements of Cat's Eye. They emphasized that the tour, actually they might have underestimated Cat's Eye because the venues were too small, and they've already sold out all the tickets. They sold out within minutes, and they had to add several dates, and it's still not enough. So they kind of felt like, so my anticipation is that they probably are going to do an encore in a bigger venue, probably a theater or something like that. Interesting comment. Very interesting comment. So he said, like, I've never seen them this interested in a foreign act outside of BTS. So let's see what's going to happen. I'm excited, actually. I'm excited to go to their very first concert. I won't miss it. Okay. So now what they actually said is that here. This is Latin America. They have Santos Bravos, which is the very first group that is sort of homegrown, but they have others. They also said, so I don't know, is there anybody from Latin America here? I always thought that um, Daddy Yankee is retired. But he resigned with Hybe, and he also is going to manage a group. So I'm kind of excited, actually. If he decides to tour again, or at least have a show here in the US, I definitely will watch him because I never had a chance to do that. And he really is one of the fathers of hip hop in Latin America. So I definitely want to see him. Now they said that the BTS effect and Cat's Eye success is creating a great divide in K-pop. Okay. So what does that mean? Many investors are actually favoring Hybe so much more and ignoring the other three. So you really has he was, but he came back. He's not retired. Okay. Okay. So came out of retirement. I really want to watch him. I hope he does at least one show in the US. I really want to watch him. Hopefully here or even in Vegas. I will watch him. I really want to watch him. I missed him. Even Bad Bunny, I actually want to watch him. I haven't watched him either, and Peso Pluma. Okay, so BTS effect. So they're saying that because of the success of BTS, of course, that's we all know that, but also the success of Cat's Eye, and many investors are seeing that or looking at it as a sort of sign on how successful Hybe America is going to be, or the expansion of Hybe is going to be globally. They are highly favoring BTS, up to 75% favoring BTS, sorry, not BTS, Hybe over other management companies, which is SMYG and JYP. And so, even though, for example, we know that JYP is doing a lot, meaning their top groups, Twice and Stray Kids. They Stray Kids just finished their tour. Twice is currently touring, and Mix is doing really well. ITZY is going on their third world tour. They're one of my favorites. Even though there are, and then of course we have Blackpink and Baby Monster, who supposedly just finished their successful concert, and then Blackpink is on the last leg of their tour. Despite all of that, for the investors, it is not as important as the success of Cat's Eye and the BTS effect. And so they anticipate by 2026, because of the return of BTS and hyping up the activities of Cat's Eye, they think that it's going to tip the scale heavily for Hybe. So Hybe is going to leave the other three in terms of the projections of their stock prices. So despite of the supposed success of Blackpink and Baby Monster, they the investors actually pulled down the projection for the stocks of the other three, SMYG and JYP, and then they lifted their projection for Hybe stocks. So that's a good sign. I do have a prediction. I think they're going to go public here in the US. Hi from Florida. Hi. Hello from X. So that's my projection. I think they're going to go public here in the US, but I don't know when that's going to happen. That's just my guess. Maybe definitely not this year, maybe next year, or maybe 2027. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm 100% just here for BTS. I really don't care if any other group is successful or not. Okay, so that's the great divide. Let's see how that's going to affect the K-pop industry in the next 12 months. I think it's all up to the other groups, the other agencies to actually expand their business and their thinking beyond K-pop. They have to start thinking globally. They don't have to copy the strategy of Hybe. They just need to come up with a viable, tangible strategy for a global expansion. Will Cat's Eye be viewed as replacing Blackpink? No, in the US, they're not seen as a K-pop group. They're just a girl group like Fifth Harmony, or they're just a K-pop. The only ones that are calling them K-pop are K-pop fans. But here, they're not regarded as a K-pop. They're just a group, just like a girl group. So no, it's not a replacement. Blackpink will always be a K-pop group, and Cat's Eye is just Cat's Eye. What implication would it have if they go public? So one, there is going to be the way that the contracts are going to be structured will differ greatly. It can be an extension, but there has to be, if Hybe America decides to go public, they're going to have to set up the company to be totally independent from Hybe Korea, because the stock exchange cannot see the company Hybe America as an extension of another business from another country. That's not that the US doesn't like that. No country likes that. If you're going to go public in that country, you have to be native to that country. And so there will be two different board of directors, there will be two different investors. The business documents will be separate, meaning the contracts will also be separate. Now, when you sign, the US can be an extension. So, for example, they sign a K-pop group in Hybe Korea. Hybe America can be an extension, but that's still another contract, meaning they will be bound by different. They can demand different terms, all of those things. Okay. When I mean, as the it girl group, probably I think so. The girls bring in a certain kind of freshness that we haven't seen from US groups. I'm not saying that the US girl groups are bad, not at all. I like all of them actually. It's just that TLC is my favorite girl group. It's just that it's different. They're providing something different because of the different cultures that they bring in. You know, Latin America, Philippines, Korea, um, Mano is from Switzerland. So they're bringing in different cultural influences, and that's refreshing to see. So you're seeing something different. Okay, I think they are going to stop recruiting males out of South Korea because the military thing is an issue, even if BTS was able to overcome it. I think they will start forming their own group in the US, the same way they did for Cat's Eye. So they will form a different boy group, just in the US. Okay, I was a Spice Girls gal. 702 is my favorite all-time group. They've had 3 years to attempt catching up to BTS and Hybe, and they're still knee deep in the mud pit. Um, they actually did well in lessening their dependence on BTS when it comes to earnings, which is an obligation they have with BTS, because BTS as a collective together, all the seven members together, they are the fifth biggest shareholder in the company as a collective, okay? Not as individuals, as a collective. And so it is Hybe's obligation to BTS, along with other shareholders, to make sure that they are just not dependent on BTS. And they did kind of okay in the last 3 years. But I think with their return in 2026, yeah, so they're gonna bring in the bulk of the earnings again. Okay. Um, next slide. So the Great Divide. So interesting. Five securities company have raised their target stock prices for Hybe. As I've said, despite Blackpink and Baby Monster tours, YG Entertainment has lowered its target stock price by an average of 15%. So five securities company, they lowered their estimate for the stock price of YG Entertainment despite the supposed big success. Now, YG said that aside from most likely releasing the album of Blackpink by March to coincide with the release of, or April to coincide with the release of BTS, they also said that they're going to launch another girl group. So they are going to have two active girl groups outside of, well, three. So Blackpink, Baby Monster, and then a new one. And the new girl group that he is preparing, he said, has four members. Okay. Um, I heard that BP Tour was not bringing as much as they'd expected. They aren't, yeah. Actually, one of the things someone just messaged me this. One of the indicators is that in all the tours that they've actually done, there has never been a venue that announced it was a sold out. Even in the previous ones, they've never announced it's a sold out, and that's, as we all know, it's a good indication on whether it's a sold out or not. So they really should be soloists. They don't do as a group. Who? Blackpink? I think that the girls, in all fairness to them, did really well in their objective as soloists. So they were able to do what they want and grow as much as they want as soloists. So I think that's a good thing. I think yeah, to your point, I do think that they do better as soloists because they're able to explore their artistry. And also, we can see just how different they are in their approaches and also in their music, which I think is good because you want to grow as an artist. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. Okay, I heard some Blinks were disappointed they did a tour without doing a new album first. I think so, but I think YG was rushing the tour for them because of the schedule of Blackpink. I think as individual artists, they already have their schedules and their timeline set. That's number one. Second is that he did have to recover the losses from 20 for last year. So he had to do a tour so he can recover some of the money that they've lost. Next is that I think the girls didn't extend their contract for a longer period of time. And so he was running after time. He wanted to make sure that while they are still in their contract, he would be able to do a tour. Okay. Bet they have a comeback around BTS comeback. That's my bet. I posted it that's a joke, by the way. I don't know that for sure, but that is a joke. But I think they are going to return. They're going to make a comeback in right around the same time. How did Jin's and Encore ticket sales do? I'm actually going to talk about that here. But you have questions about this before we move on. I know that there is a constant question on how you can actually invest, and I keep on forgetting to post. I actually invested through the same thing. It's the same way Suga actually did his investment in the US. I used a private equity fund, and I'll post the contacts in Patreon. So, but I do think they're gonna go public here in the US, which is going to make it easier for me to invest in them. By the way, so I would love to just directly invest in them. Okay. Um, Let me see if you have other questions. Spice Girls, TLC, Destiny's Child. TLC is my absolute favorite. I love Waterfalls. That's actually how I became such a big fan of them. I went backwards after that, after I discovered the music. That song, I went backwards and rediscovered their music. I don't mean they will delay purposely their comeback to let other get ahead. I meant if it happens, then other idols will take advantage of that. But that is my gut feel. No one will be able to pull off what BTS did during military service. So good luck to future boy groups. You mean the success that they've had as solo artists during their military service? Yeah. Well, for you to have that kind of success, you do need to plant the seeds before you go to the military, right? Um, so for tomorrow, I was just actually what I was supposed to publish as a video for Monday for my regular video on YouTube was the Jimin misinformation, and that would be the last of the series. I've done all of them. Jimin was the last one. And so the reason I didn't make it was the just the amount of research that I got. So there was so much material. I got so overwhelmed, and there was just so many for me to like organize everything. There was so much. And then as I was researching about Jimin, of course, then other members actually popped up. And one of the things that I realized is that even from the point of view of experts, like actual experts who are very objective in this. They have no dog in this fight. They're not K-pop fans. They don't care about K-pop. Even they are talking about how unbelievable it is that a group managed to get members with this amount of talent. Like even they are talking about that. Like how can they, how did they do that? That they were able to get this men in one group. All of them are so talented, and not just talented in like, oh yeah, that's great. They make good music. It's actually superior. Like creatively they are superior. Um so it's interesting. I'm going to do another video on that, obviously, but just because you raised, or did I say that? Anyway, yeah, so it was just interesting that, oh, yeah, so you were talking about the individual success that they experienced during the military service. So a lot of it is actually hinged on their talent. If you don't have the amount of talent that they have, and you don't have the connection, then you won't be able to experience that kind of success. So it's just, I don't know how they got so lucky. They were able to get this 7 men. All of them are superior creatively, all in one group. Okay. I'm very curious to know how Hybe America will help BTS. They are going to be in charge of the US leg of their promotion. Okay. Talented, but they were also nurtured. Yeah. Bang PD hit talent jackpot, and he did it again with you go ahead and watch their interview with Zach Sancho Cordis. I'm talking about Cordis, because that's when they talked about like how long they've trained. So Martin, the leader, trained for 11, for 6, not 11 years, but for 6 years with Big Hit, and that meant he came in Hybe 2019, right before the pandemic, right around the supposed time they were gonna go on their world tour. Martin started training with them. Um, I don't know if it was Big Hit specifically or another agency within Hybe, but that's what he said. And then James started 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. The shortest training period is Juhun, but he's been in the industry for quite a while. So, okay. Yes, right? I love that interview. I love their interview. All of them are so talented and so articulate. Okay. Next, I think Yeonjun joined as a trainee since 2014, so he trained for like 5 years. I know that TXT is the only group that experienced almost the same things that BTS experienced, because they were able to train in the old dorm, the very first dorm that they had. So not no not dorm, but the very first office they had. So yeah, BTS new album doesn't even sound done yet. Jimin said there's still mixing left to do, but we're almost there. He said that they're done recording. So probably mixing. He said that there are some things that he can still do. Supposedly the top one of the topics I was going to talk about will touch on that. Like what are the things that they kind of that we experience and saw in their growth in during their creative growth in their solo period. So that I think we will see in the group promotion. So let's see. Okay, let's go through news and updates. Let's run through this just as so this was so funny. I just saw this actually. I'm gonna do this for like 5 minutes. This a lot of slides, but just some of the things that we learned from Source Music and Min Heejin trial. But this was just so funny. World's dumbest criminals. World's dumbest K-pop criminals. So sorry, I'm not going to help with Big Hit Hype or anyone's desire to make another BTS. Let each group stand on their own and create their own fandom. That has been the stance all along that BTS can't be remade. They cannot be remade, correct? Okay, so they've gone through some of the accusations. New Jeans came in after seeing me. So what she's claiming is that New Jeans actually joined because of her, and she was the one who put everybody together. Source Music disproved that. They actually showed a video of one of the parents stating that she was very impressed that Source Music had to go to Anyang, which is their province, to scout their daughter, meaning it was really Source Music from the very beginning. Plus, we've seen the video. Okay. And then they described how each member was recruited. Daniel was a former YG trainee. When the staff member left YG, moved to Hybe, she took Daniel with her. And then Yein was scouted by Song Sun Jin, the CEO of Source Music. And he was the one who actually negotiated with the parents. And Yerin was actually the one who convinced her parents. So Hanny said we were promised to debut first. Source Music proved that there was no such promise. Okay. So lies that MHJ are saying. Yeah, a lot of this I actually presented to the members only live stream. So I'm just going to go through this real quick, like 5 minutes. Okay, so there's no evidence that says that that New Jeans will actually be debuting. And they even said that the CEO of Source Music is an expert in the industry. He knows that you can't make that promise, so he won't make that promise. So okay, and they also show the signing of the contract. So the members actually signed, and the parents were there, New Jeans members. And I think one of the comments was that they believe Min Hee-jin didn't anticipate that there was actually such a documentation, meaning that there is a video of the parents and the children signing the contract, primarily because it's not in her MO. Her as a producer does not record behind the scenes in the making, because the groups that she's managed, or at least the group that she managed with this New Jeans, she has sort of taken the reins in everything. So there's really not a lot of behind the scenes except for the recording. There's no creative development, basically. Okay, so it's not part of her MO. um Also, she was talking about Hybe delayed the debut. They disproved this because attention was already made. It was done by the time that she joined Source Music, or she joined Hybe. New Jeans members were already rehearsing to the song. So she didn't do this. Nadira, thank you so much. Love everything you do, Fairlane. Thanks for real news always. Borahe. Borahe. Thank you so much. So they disproved that as well. And then they talked about how it was actually Min Hee-jin who manipulated the situation so that Bang Shi-yuk will not be involved in the group. And then after that, she was saying that Bang Shi-yuk didn't finish the songs, when in fact there were already two songs finished, and they were under Source Music when it was done. Okay. August 2021 Kakao Talk, she actually told her shaman that she wants New Jeans to debut after Le Seraphim. Okay. And then she also, so there was no such promise to debut. She made the mistake of assuming others think and act like her. Correct. She does. Yeah, she did. Yeah. So yeah, that's what the attention was actually done by the time by the time she joined. The New Jeans members were already rehearsing to that. Okay. And then okay, let's go through that. Okay, and then they also presented a tracking report that showed that Source Music repeatedly followed up the branding document she was supposed to create, because she was in charge of the branding of the girl groups. And they show that, look, all of the reports, that the follow-ups that we made, phone calls, emails, she was the one who was delaying this. So she shouldn't be accusing us of delaying the debut when it was her who delayed it. Okay. Now, Min to Shaman, she was like, I just want my own label. Now, one of the major things that they neglected New Jeans, as I've said, her accusation is that Source Music neglected New Jeans, but Source Music presented this evidence showing that it was her who was delaying the branding document. And they also talked about Thug. So she called the staff of Hybe thugs, and they showed the Kakao Talk message, and she also repeated that in the press conference she did, the very first press conference she did. And then her defense was that it was not supposed a derogatory term. I did not use the word thug to insult you. It's not a derogatory term. And then Source Music said that, well, why did you sue someone who called you a thug online if it wasn't supposed to be a derogatory term? So this is a contradiction. You're obviously lying. But the biggest takeaway, I guess, is that her law firm actually argued that when she said she was the one who recruited the member, it was not literal. She wasn't talking about it literally. And they actually asked the judge to take the entire thing in context. Like they said, you can't just take this one statement and not put it in context. They said that she was trying to defend herself. She didn't know how to express herself. When she said she was the one who recruited New Jeans members, she meant she was the one who branded them. They were already in Source Music and then she branded them. Okay, that's their defense. Okay, so that's the review. Let's go to something positive. All right, so you have your emotional support pictures. Can New Jeans members sue MHJ later for misleading them and ruining their careers? Mm, Probably because many of them were minors. But the biggest issue is that they have not filed an appeal. So the court upheld the exclusive contract and they were supposed to file an appeal. They have not. So that's actually the biggest issue. I'm like, they should file an appeal because I don't want them to return. I don't want them to come back to Hype. They should file a. Okay. Uh, okay. This is RM, the first one RM. I love this picture, by the way. I also love this picture. I love to see comments from people who initially bought her BS. Many of them are actually flipping. Okay. When is the deadline? 2 weeks, and it has been 7 days. So they have, sorry, 9 days, I think. So they have 5 days more. Five, no, 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 no. Sorry. It has been 5 days. So they have, yeah, they have 9 days more. Deadline November 13. Yeah. Okay. And this is your Jin. I love the one on the left, not the one he's sitting down, but where he is sitting down, but the one where he is standing. I love that picture. This is also unfiltered, so not whitewashed, and so that is sort of closer to his complexion. I love that picture. Okay. This is I want to make you all happy, that's why. Okay, so there was a question on his concert attendance. So I don't think they included the encore yet, but it has been the 20 concerts that he had, 20 concerts, so 20 dates, 330 people. Sorry, 330,000 people. So 330,000 tickets sold for his 20 concerts, 10 cities from June to November. Okay. Yes, I have all of their pictures. We'll go through all of them. After the JK thing, I know that you needed all of them. So, okay. And I know that your next question is do you have or do you remember the numbers in J-Hope's concert? Yes. So to remind you, for J-Hope's concert, it was 504,000 tickets, 33 concerts. And Jin, 200, okay, sorry, 330,000 tickets, 20 dates. Okay, so that's the difference. 33, 20. 330,000 for Jin and 504,000 for Hope on the Street. Okay, so those are two of the biggest ones. I mean, that 504,000 for Hope on the Stage and 330,000 T Fund. Thank you, Angel Star. Thank you so much. That is together, that is actually equivalent to the world tour of many acts, like groups. They're just doing it individually. So that's more picture of Jin. I also love this picture. Okay. Do you know the live stream numbers? Not yet. They haven't released it yet. Because I guess it happened October. So that's going to be for the last quarter. Okay, but they might do a PR once they have the confirmed numbers. The name Cordis sounds like court is or court equals. So MHJ is court Is court if you want court. Go, 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 court. Okay. So this is more Jin. Nice jacket, right? So this is during the encore. Sorry, not the encore, but sound check. Pictures by posted by fans. Don't you? He's just lovely. He has no angle. No angle. He's gorgeous. I love this picture. This wasn't the first day. So this wasn't the day Jimin held the finish line. Some really amazing pics of RM. Yeah. How did J Hope movie do? We don't have the numbers yet. We don't have the numbers yet. Breathtaking. This is J Hope. Love this picture because I love the firstness in his eyes. This is another J Hope picture. So this was during the encore of Jin when he did the, I believe. Yeah. Okay. J 15K average, J Hope 15K average. They are fairly even. Yeah. The one thing that Jin did that J Hope didn't was the European tour. And I think J Hope should just have done it. He should have just done a European date. I don't know why he didn't, but I love this picture of J Hope. I love this. Love this picture. I always love pictures that tell a story. So many of the pictures that I like, it doesn't really show their face clearly, but it does tell a story. If you would remember that picture of RM sitting on a lifeguard seat, I love that because it tells a story. I did not see Jin Encore day one, only day two. Okay. Next, most played audio by K-pop male soloist on YouTube in 2025. Killin' It Girl, Assalamu Alaikum. I don't know how to respond to that. Am I going to say it correctly? Malaikulis salam. Sorry, I may have. I did not intend to. Is that how it's supposed to be responded to? Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Let me know if I did that correctly. Okay. Uh, Killing It Girl, 140 million. Too Bad, 120 million. Mona Lisa, Sweet Dream Spaghetti, all of that, J Hope. And then number six, Don't Say You Love Me. So that's just for 2025 YouTube music. Okay. So go J Hope. And then here's your Suga. Who was asking for Suga? Someone was asking for Suga. Stone Spain did a really nice review of J Hope movie. Ooh, okay. I'll check that out. Okay. Wa alikumussalam. Wa alikumussalam. Wa alikumussalam. Okay. Wa alikum. Okay, one more time. Where's that? Wa alikumussalam. Wa alikumussalam. Okay. Sugar. Unedited, by the way. Unfiltered. Fairly. Fire Butterfly BTS out. It's okay. Enjoy and scream and have fun for me since I won't be able to see it. This is another unfiltered photo of Suga, and this was during his concert. You miss him. Everybody misses him. We haven't seen him in a while, but I'm sure he's hard at work. He's gonna show himself in his own time when he's ready. He's probably busy. He's the resident producer of BTS, and as Jimin keeps on saying, everyone is participating more actively in this project. So I'm assuming that things have shifted. And so he's probably just making some more preparation. How did Suga's tour sales? Oh, I did not anticipate that question. I only anticipated you. So 504. I think he did. So he had less dates, but I think he did 330. Uh, sh- okay, let's see. Let's see. That was 330 fans, 28 concerts, 28 dates, 330. There you go. 330 tickets sold for 28 dates. Jin's beauty is unreal. Poor Suga has his hands full with his babies. There you go. I also love this picture. This was during, I want to say New York. New York. I think it was New York. Sound check. Okay. I can imagine the Macnay line bugging him in his studio to see if he's still breathing. You miss Hobie. One more, Suga. His ears must be buzzing. We mention him so much. He sees that, I'm sure. I am sure he sees that. Okay. And this is V. Lovely V. What if BTS releases 8 new albums? Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. What was the question? What if BTS release 8 new albums in one? Every member has his own new album plus one OT7 album. Oh my god! Congratulations to our bank accounts. They will be used a lot. Um, that's V again. It hurts so much to see him crying. I know, but I think that's like tears of relief. He feels relieved that he's finally back in the one thing that he loves doing and with the people that he loves, BTS and armies. Okay. Dodger Girl Good Night, that would be burden for army. But people will still buy it. That's him. I love this smile, by the way. He was looking at a sign of one of the fans here. That's why he was smiling that. But I love the boxy smile. Okay. Do we know Suga plus J-Hope live stream concert totals? I think if I remember correctly, wait. I think it was I want to say it was like 550. I'll check. I want to say it was 550 if I remember it correctly. I think it was Touring Data who provided the numbers, but let me verify. Okay, V. More V. Bankruptcy. I'm resigned to that, by the way. After that run, after their concert and the albums and merch, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so broke. Any JK photos, of course. Of course, there are a lot of JK photos. We also have Mini Moni. I love this picture. I love this duo, by the way. Another Mini Moni. So this is the cutie Mini Moni, and this is the hot Mini Moni. Okay. And then, sorry, you have Suga again. Why did I put him there? Okay. And then you have Jimin. He is beautiful. I love this. He should have done this hairstyle, by the way. Jimin, I'm talking about Jimin. Um, something like Legolas or something. That's Jimin. I hope Suga isn't getting irritated a lot. So this was in the book of Lee K, the artist that draws Jimin. And he was asked about Jimin being his muse because he has painted him a lot. He has drawn him a lot. So I love what he said here. In my work, Park Jimin has come to embody far more than a visual muse. He embodies a presence that evokes complex layers of emotion. At first, I was drawn to the physical beauty, the flow of lines, the balance and elegance in his form. But as I continued working with his image, I found myself increasingly focused on the melancholy, solitude, and internal pressure that come with the position as a public figure. So I encourage you to read that. I'll post it on Patreon. But this entire thing he was talking about, Jimin, is so beautiful. The way that the respect that he has for Jimin and stuff. Okay, who was asking for for Jungkook? I love this picture when he was showing his abs. For those of you who don't remember, this was in one of their concerts. So during their ment, the cameraman focused on a poster that says "We want to focus on." And if I remember correctly, it was a guy who was holding the picture. It was uh, a fanboy. He was holding the poster and it says, "I want to focus on." And he saw it and he was like, he showed his abs to the guy. It was such a friendly exchange between the two. And he did it twice actually. So after that, the guy was like clapping. He was so happy that he got his attention that Jungkook did it again. I thought it was just a cute interaction. The one on the right, because the reason put this picture, I actually have the unfiltered photo version of this one. It's just that look at how they whitewash him. I love his natural color, by the way. So I don't know why they have to whitewash him. But anyway, okay. I totally remember that. I also love this picture of JK. As I keep on saying this, but I love pictures that tell a story. I don't necessarily, so those pictures usually they don't show the whole face of the members, but it's okay. I just love how I love it when it actually like tell the story in just one picture. Jimin is my alt. I will burst if I see him again. Don't burst. Come on, Fairy Lane. You're making me wait for Jungkook. It's here now. Nadir, it's here. There you go. You have your abs, you have your side profile, you have your wholesome picture of JK. JK will always be our baby boo. And he knows that. He said, I will forever be the maknae. Everyone's going to grow old, including him, but he will always be the youngest. And I think he has resigned to that. Kind of enjoys it. Just to devastate you all, this was during his, the first, I think he was the entrance. This was it? I think his graduation in middle school, I believe. This was his graduation in middle school. My sister is a photographer, so I like to send her interesting photos of the guys. Baby JK. I know, right? Look at those cheeks. I want to pinch it. If I have the ability to turn back time, I'm going to pinch his cheeks. Okay. He's adorable and precious. And of course, look at that engagement, 7.8 million. It was published November 4. It's November 10. That is 6 days. We have 7.8 million. Everyone and their mama is going to watch the show. So December 3, I can't believe we're already talking about December, talking about Christmas. But so it's going to be every Wednesday. So these are the official photos that they released. I'm so excited for this show. I keep on reminding everybody, of course, haters are going to flood social media. So block, 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 report and block. It's free. Can't wait for this. I can't wait for theirs. So, and then in the midst of all the chaos, the intern did not care. Released the schedule. So this is the schedule: episode 1 and 2 December 3, episode 3 and 4 December 10, December 17 episode 5 and 6, and then December 24 episode 7 and 8. So initially I thought it was going to be half would be Switzerland and then half would be Vietnam. But then they published an article, and Switzerland said that there will be 6 episodes. So I guess 2 episodes in Vietnam. I don't know. But so another thing is that they only covered half of their vacation in Switzerland. So I guess the first half there were no cameras. I think they came from New York. So and then went to Switzerland and then the crew showed up. Now there is a debate because there's another poster that came out of Are You Sure season 2, and there is a debate on whether it was a leak or whether it was fan made. I'm not sure, but so this is part of that photo. I'm not sure if it was a leak or if it was fan made. Okay. And because we're talking about Are You Sure, I'm going to show you some pictures of the two. If there are haters in this chat, you might want to get out of the chat. It's not worth your time. Okay. So that's the two. I love this. This is one of my favorite photos of them, by the way. So they colored the background. Some of the fans actually colored the background. This was during Mama Mnet. Hmm? Okay. Beautiful. Do you have any individual pictures of Jimmy? I showed it. Yes, and I showed it. And then I'll go back in a bit. And then you have the two together. That was just from the back waiting. And this is one of their Are You Sure season 1 stills. Okay. Love this picture, by the way. Okay. Love this picture too. This is actually one of my favorite pictures of the two. We know that Jimin actually regularly gets a uh that from Jungkook. I forget what it's called. Okay. I need to get Disney Plus again for AYS2. Love this episode 2 when they went to Japan and they were in the train, and the crew colored everything so that it looks like a manga because they can't for privacy. So I love that. Absolutely love that. When they were actually listening to, so I think that was the earpiece piggyback ride. There you go. So I think it was the earpiece of Jungkook, and then he gave the other one to Jimin so that they would be listening to the same song. So, and this is them during their boat ride. Okay, there you go, Yeonjun. Yeonjun sold. I'm actually super impressed with this comeback of Yeonjun. So 3.6 million streams on Spotify counter. Congratulations to Yeonjun. It was just it was not like an ordinary K-pop comeback for me. It was something different. I think he stretched himself creatively on this one. And so it allowed him to like do something very, very different. You love all the episodes. I love all the episodes too. Okay, so congratulations to Yeonjun. I love the entire album of Yeonjun. Uh, better than I love Gum. He's Bomgyu is my bias in TXT. Many are trolling. Many are trolling, of course. And of congratulations. Oh my God, this is one great comeback for ILLIT. These are their pictures. So Cute No More is their new single or album that they'll be releasing. And these are some of the pictures that they released. So I guess they're kind of breaking away from their usual cute image. But I was gonna discuss the lore. I'll do that next time. But this is their pictures, the promo pictures that B Lift released. So cute. They are very cute. Yeah. I love that. So that's the back shot of their. Okay, these are some of the concept photos that they have. So please support them. I love them so much. Good night. Best wishes to your family. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know that everything will be okay. Thank you so much. Okay, more pictures of them. They look like dolls. Yeah, that has always been like the concept for them. Drown the haters and keep hyping AYS2. We need to be loud and support it. I think it's going to be the best watched series, quite honestly, in Disney Plus. Okay, so these are the three. More pictures of ILLIT. Cry Baby, Cry Baby. I'm guessing that some of these things, like Cry Baby, is probably going to be a song. They have some more pictures where there are words on the things that they're wearing. That's probably going to be a song, title of their songs. Okay. More. I'll it. Look at their doll. So cute, right? Okay. And I think this is the last picture. So in their fan meeting in Korea, they covered Perfect Night. While they were rehearsing, Le Seraphim visited them. They brought them some cake, some food to eat, and then they show their performance to Le Seraphim. And of course, Le Seraphim loved them. They were great. So I love that for them. I actually love the interaction of different groups, especially within Hybe. And they also interact a lot with groups outside of Hybe. And I love that. Absolutely love that. Okay, so I will take this last 12 minutes to make an announcement. Not a lot of, not very heavy announcement, but and I will do a separate video for this and I will be uploading it in my Patreon. So I mentioned to everybody that anyone who subscribed to me, you will enjoy your rate in perpetuity. Okay, so your rate will not increase. As time goes by, of course, it will be natural for me to increase the rate of subscription, but yours will remain that way for in perpetuity for as long as you do not unsubscribe. So if you unsubscribe, you can't go back. So if for as long as you stay there, then you will enjoy that rate and all of those features in perpetuity. Okay? So that's clear. Okay, don't ask because you will not get an increase. And that's the same for YouTube members as well. Okay. Now, in by next year, how old are they? The youngest for ILLIT is 17 going on 18, which is Iroha. And then the oldest is 23 or 22, which is Yuna. Okay. So, okay, so that's clear. You will not get an increase in perpetuity. But it's natural, of course, for me to increase my rate. So, what is going to happen is that your tier will be locked. And this will happen by first quarter of 2026, meaning no new members will be accepted in your tier. And that's why you also shouldn't unsubscribe because if you do, then you can't go back. So, and then new rates will be implemented by the first quarter of next year, and that will apply to new people that will subscribe. Okay, so that's what's going to happen, just so you guys know. So from here until first quarter of next year, I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to implement those things because I also want to implement new things in Patreon and the members. So if you guys want to either downgrade, for example, you're in diamond, you want to downgrade to platinum or whatever, or you want to upgrade and you want to make sure that you enjoy that rate forever, then you can do that up until the first quarter of next year, sometime in the first quarter of next year. And then after that, I will be implementing the new rates. Again, for as long as you're an existing subscriber, you will enjoy your rate in perpetuity for as long as you do not unsubscribe. Okay. Why not take content with other BTS member instead of just JK? Huh? Te? I did not show any pictures of JK, Te with JK. Why push them together only? I did not show any pictures of V. I showed AYS. Are you sure? So that's Jimin and Jungkook. Speaking of Te and JK, don't think we're gonna get more gym vlogs. I know there's an episode 2, right? Supposedly there's an episode 2. Is this your YouTube or Patreon? So for both. But for both, for as long as for both YouTube and Patreon, you will enjoy your existing rate for in perpetuity for as long as you do not unsubscribe. Okay. Um Good night, Evie. Young and forever. Don't do that. She was talking about the show, so don't make it toxic. Yeah, I did not talk about. I don't know where you got that. I didn't even show a single picture of V with Jungkook. It was Jimin with Jungkook for their Are You Sure next. And then Mini Money. The other one is Mini Money, which is RM and Jimin, which I do a lot here. If you ever stay here and you do another live stream, I show unit pictures together. Okay, not you, Fairlane, showing. Okay, all right. That's clear. So she said that it wasn't me. She was talking to someone else. Yay, mine will not go up. Yes, for in perpetuity, for as long as you stay subscribed, you will stay there. So that I'm not sure yet, quite sure yet when I'm going to implement that, but it will be definitely within the first quarter of next year because I'm also preparing new things for you guys. So yeah, okay. We need Yoongi. Boo-hooing. Well, we can't do much. We have to wait. Okay. There's something here. Who's that? Okay, I will just end it there. I'm not going to show any more of the slides because the other one is kind of negative. I want to end the live stream on a positive note. I need J Hope's abs. I was contemplating on whether I'm going to show some pictures of J Hope's abs. Decided against it because I thought you've seen his abs a lot of times. I guess you haven't seen it enough. So next time I'm going to show you some. Can anybody here be my fairy godmother and pay for my subscription? I've seen that on other channels. Okay, so I think there are some people who gift or something like that. All right. So just as long as you stay subscribed, everything is going to be fine. And then I don't know if they're going to be doing something in December. It doesn't look like it. And medical assistance here in the Philippines is the worst. I know, right? It is the worst. Okay, so I was gonna say, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. So supposedly I was going to make a trip to South Korea for the winter, which is December. Well, January. So I guess winter. I guess December. But it doesn't look like they're going to do anything in December, although they might announce something. I don't know. But at this stage, because of what happened with my family member, I don't think I will be making the trip just in case. I just want to be able to provide help just in case they need some funds. So I will cancel that one. But even if they announce something, is what I'm saying, I will cancel the trip. But definitely for their comeback, I have saved for that. So that I will be doing regardless. So for the comeback, I will try to get some tickets for South Korea. I don't know if I'm going to get any, but I'll try to do that. And then some dates here in the US. And then if they do Wembley or a good location in Europe, I'm going to do that as well. That for sure, we will that will happen. That for sure will happen. So I know that I promised some of you that I will make that trip during December in South Korea, and I was gonna do like a tour for everybody. We'll organize a tour. We're gonna go through the different locations where BTS has been, and that includes their the restaurant where they often went, Busan, of course, the different locations of their shoots and stuff like that. But because of what happened to my family, I hope that you understand, but I will not pushing through with that plan. But for the comeback, I will for sure. Okay. All right. Thank you everybody for wishing my family well. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. I do believe that. And again, always appreciative that I was put in the position where that at least is not a problem. So, but there are way more people that don't have that capacity. So, um I'll keep that in mind so that I don't take that for granted. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Totally understanding, praying for your family. Thank you so much. All right. Do you have any more questions before we go off? Um, fire, fire. Yeah. Foreign. Okay. Good night, everybody. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.